With tymoraPRO, your strategies can also pass data and variables between Excel or OpenOffice through a dynamically updated CSV file or web page, or even through tymoraPRO's own socket API. This is just a quick example of passing data between your strategies and an OpenOffice spreadsheet. So here we start with an example strategy called bid offer ratio. And what we're going to do is pass data from tymoraPRO to OpenOffice, where it can calculate the current bid offer ratio, and then it will pass back a buy or a sell based on that information. So to enable the Excel OpenOffice integration, we want to set prereqs. And in this case, you see we have var file equal bidofferratio.xls. What this means is that each time we load this strategy, the variable manager between tymoraPRO and OpenOffice will automatically be loaded. For this example, I've started with these closed, so to relaunch, all we have to do is go over the prereqs button and right-click. We have tymoraPRO's Excel CSV Global Variable Manager, and we see all of the assets that we're looking to monitor. And we see from tymoraPRO, we have the bid size, offer size, which will dynamically update. We're also using a column here called ratio with a minimum ratio for a trigger to buy or sell. And here we have BO trig, which would dynamically update based on the ratio. This data now is just being passed between tymoraPRO and OpenOffice, which we see here. If we click, we see all the formulas, how everything's being calculated. And if we go back now to, let's make this a bit smaller so we can fit everything here. Let's look on our console, and you see with the strategy, we're creating this BORAT multi-view with those same symbols that you see in OpenOffice. And our trigger is if BO trig equals 1 for those assets in that BORAT multi-view tab, we look to buy. If it's a -1, we look to sell. Now we should see, let's take MTU, let's see what these values are. BO ratio, comma MTU. Okay, there's our ratio. You see, so that data is now being passed also back into Tymora. And let's look at our trigger, -1. As we see here, the trigger is -1. Now we can also change that. Let's just force in a change. We change it to a 1. Let's see what happens here. There we go. BO trig is 1. Now, of course, that means I messed up the spreadsheet, so I'll have to restore this. And now let's just hit start, just so you can get an example of how this works. And there we go. So we have 4 stocks with buy sells. And as these change, our strategies should adjust as well. And that's how easy it is to pass data between tymoraPRO and an Excel or OpenOffice spreadsheet.